I'm going to launch a poll. So you should see a poll pop up on your screen. If you could fill that out for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. I will say hello. My name is Savannah Carabin, and I'm the Business Operations and Marketing Coordinator for the City of Bluefield Community and Economic Development Department. I serve the same role for the Bluefield, West Virginia Economic Development Authority. We are hosting this class because many of you have heard about our My Own Business Institute, MOBI, and that's probably how you found out about office hours, or I have bugged you because you're supposed to be here if you're not aware. This topic, the best kept secrets of social media marketing, and many more business related topics are covered in our online entrepreneurs bootcamp. We have 2 modules, starting a business and expanding your business. The Bluefield, West Virginia Economic Development Authority was created to spearhead the Intuit Alorica project and work as a catalyst to continue developing Intuit's partnership to assure sustainability. BETA has taken on the role of ensuring growth opportunities, development, and mentorship to the region's business owners and entrepreneurs. We're thankful for the city's partnership with Intuit and Intuit's investment in you. So there's me. I will say this, I have 2 disclaimers before we get started today. Not everything may apply to you. So if I show you a tool or an app and it doesn't apply to you, please don't just shut me out. I challenge you to ask yourself, this may not work for me, but how can I accomplish what this tool accomplishes without me using this particular tool? My second disclaimer is I'm going to give you, am I going to give you every single tool to make you a successful Instagram influencer with 1.3 million followers? Probably not, but I will give you the tools so your business can be found on the local and regional level without having to leave potential customers wondering for information. We will talk about this again in SEO. So I'm going to take a look at this poll you all filled out. So all in all, everyone's feeling pretty good, which makes me happy. And most people are still at the office. We have a few folks who are working from home. Good, that makes me glad. Let's move into the next slide. I have another poll for you. So if you could fill out this poll for me, we're going to talk about your comfortability with social media, what social media you use, and what social media your business uses. There are 3 questions, so please make sure you fill out all 3 questions. In the meantime, before we get started, please keep your video off. Please keep your microphone muted. Please submit all questions in the chat box, which I have been chatting on. Let's see. I will be moderating the chat, so if you are having issues or concerns, if you can't hear me, please drop that in the chat box. The session will be recorded and available on YouTube, and you should receive an email within 24 hours from me with a link. If you are viewing this recording and have questions, feel free to email me at scarabin@bluewv.org with any questions. And if you haven't already, grab a pen and some paper because this is going to be interactive and you are definitely going to want to take notes. All right, I'm going to stop this poll. Only 15 out of 18 of you on here have filled out this poll. So I know if you didn't, so if you could please fill out this poll that's on your screen, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to stop that in just a couple of seconds. All right, let's look at this together. Your comfortability with social media. Everyone's moderately comfortable or pretty good at it. Everyone personally definitely uses Facebook and Instagram. I see some Twitter and Snapchat users. TikTok is not high, but quite a few of you guys have used TikTok. We will be covering that. And what social media does your business use? 93% of you use Facebook, which is great. 67% on Instagram, and I like to see it. A lot of you are on Google My Business, which is great. All right. So let's talk about COVID. COVID has definitely changed the way we will use social media marketing forever. So I want you to brainstorm about your business organization. Were your customers aware of your policies? Did they know if you were open or if you were just temporarily closed or if you permanently shut down? Did they feel safe visiting your establishment? And did you share your disinfecting procedures? Guess what? I have another poll on COVID. Please don't get mad that I have so many polls. This one's only one question, so please answer this poll. COVID's definitely changed the landscape for a lot of folks. Some people unfortunately shut down permanently. Some saw a lot of slowdown. We've had people reported, they've never been busier than they were for COVID. Working in the office has definitely changed the landscape as well. So I'm interested to see what you all say. Just an FYI, I have a note for me to launch the poll before I start talking so I don't get sidetracked, but I appreciate you all answering. There's about 5 of you who have not answered the poll. Okay, only 3 of you now. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this in 10 seconds. This is very interesting. Now, some of you know you could select multiple things. So I hope you didn't think you only had to select one. All right, let's share these results. Can someone drop in the chat box if you're able to see these results that I'm sharing? I hit share results. Yes, awesome. Okay, so wow, your customers ask a lot of questions. That's huge. So a couple of you, your business shut down. A few, your business just slowed down. Some saw an increase in traffic and sales. And very few have said that their customers didn't ask any questions. Good deal. So I want to challenge you to think, now that you know what you know in regards to everyone shutting down back in March, how could you have better notified your customers of your policies or what you're doing and how you're overcoming COVID? Some people just went, had complete radio silence. Some did not. Some were very active and involved. And we'll cover a few ways that we can use social media to keep your customers involved. So this is a quote from one of my favorite dudes. This is from Guy Kawasaki. He's the chief evangelist at Canva, and we're going to cover how to use Canva today. A large social media presence is important because it's one of the last ways to conduct cost-effective marketing. Everything else involves buying eyeballs and ears. Social media enables a small business to earn eyeballs and ears. And I also like to note, Canva calls them or him their chief evangelist. And that sounds a little funny, and I had to do some research at first, but he is so, has so much pride about Canva and what he does for Canva. He calls himself an evangelist for Canva. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So let's cover why social media marketing is important. It allows you to have brand awareness. It allows you to humanize your brand. So putting a face to your business. This can help generate leads, boost sales, and one thing that we didn't consider until COVID, it was huge for crisis communication and letting your customers, your employees, and your vendors know everything that's going on. It's good for audience engagement, keeping an eye on your competition, and having a pulse on your community. You always want to keep one ear to the ground. There's a reason why I'm constantly called, messaged, or texted. Those that know me know that I have my fingertips on just about everything going on, and if I don't know something, I can find out. We're going to do another poll. Let's talk about Google My Business. So Google My Business is the king of when it comes to being found on the internet. You have to be searchable. And SEO sounds really scary, but it's not scary at all. So you guys are filling in that poll. If you could, good. You guys are responding now. I think if you guys are used to me launching polls now, so now you're looking for them. I'm gonna end this in just a couple seconds. We have 2 folks who haven't filled out the poll, and just know if you don't fill out the poll, I will know. If you're joining us on phone, of course, it may be difficult for you to fill out the poll. I'm not sure how Zoom works with that, but it is okay if you're joining, like talking on the phone. All right. So do you know what SEO means? 50-50, yes or no? SEO stands for search engine optimization. And let's talk about what it means to be searchable. So surprise, SEO and being searchable are pretty much the same exact thing. One, searchable is layman's terms, and SEO is the official definition of being found on the internet and being optimized to being found on a search engine such as Google or Yahoo or whatever search engine you use. So we are going to do a little exercise. If everyone could please grab your phone. If you are using your phone on Zoom, you can skip out on this exercise. We'll walk through it. But if you're viewing this on a laptop or computer and you have your phone in front of you, please pull it out and go to Google. We are going to pretend to order Chinese food. And it doesn't matter where you are, this exercise will work. The first thing that you do when you want to order Chinese food, I don't know about you all, but most people will go to Google and they'll Google either Chinese food near me or the name of their local Chinese restaurant that they know. So I want you to Google Chinese food near me. And you don't have to say it in the chat or out loud or anything like that. Notice what the first result is that pops up. Is there a number there? Is there physical address or any other methods of contact there? Major brownie points is if they have a menu or photos of their food, or if there's a post about their specials. All right, so you can stop looking at your phone and look back at the screen. Let's talk about this Google My Business. So if you're in Bluefield, I'm sure you're very familiar with Cherry King House or Shogun. So I Googled just Chinese food near me, and the first thing that pops up is Cherry King. This is probably because it's closer to me than Shogun is. However, I want to take note, look, it says that there's no dine-in, but there is takeout, but there's no delivery. I'm not going to drag anyone. Google My Business can be a little difficult to use. We'll walk through it, but it's helpful if you have these things on your profile. We'll talk about how to get that. And I know some of you will look right away at the reviews. Okay, wow, they have 4 stars and they have 113 reviews. That's extremely helpful. So when we tap on their name, the first thing that pops up, is like this picture. You can kind of see the little picture of the restaurant too. So this looks legit. They have their call button, their direction button, their share button, and their save button. Instantly, the address pops up. It's located in the Westgate Shopping Center. And it has when they close, so that's extremely helpful. So let's watch this for a second. So boom, the call button works. Tap it, it starts calling. Let's tap the directions button. Tap it, okay, it works. I can choose my location as a starting point. Took a second for my thing to load. And boom, directions to Cherry King House. The share button. And we're going to talk about why this is extremely helpful. So let's say I shared it with Jim Spencer, right? Oh, easy enough. So let's talk about that share button for a second. Oh. Escape. Okay. Anywho, that share button is extremely important. Let's say a group of people is coming to Bluefield to ride the Hatfield McCoy trails. So your group of people probably has a group chat that you all have been communicating in. That share button is pertinent. So if you say, hey, let's eat at this spot, it's about 4 miles from our cabin. The person who's responsible maybe for finding food that evening or who's kind of just leading the trip will hit that share button and can just send it to the group. Hey, does this look good? And you should have your menu, pictures of your place, your hours, and the way to call you right there on your Google page so they can find you. I don't know why this won't let me go full screen. Let's go back. Okay. All right. So this is Google My Business, and all you have to do is type in Google My Business, like .com or Google My Business, and you can create an account. It's very easy to find your business or start a new business of your own. This is your home screen, so as soon as you log in, this is what it looks like. This is your views, this is your searches, this is your activity. Please don't judge this Google My Business. This is for the Cornerstone, and I haven't been active on the Cornerstone because of COVID, but we're going to make an example out of me. This is new, the Celebrating Black-Owned Businesses in the corner. You can add the little attributes to your profile as well. Let's talk about the Post tab. So this is really important because you're able to post things that are going on, like our Girls' Night Out. You can also post COVID-19 support, an update, add just a general update, or if you're hosting an event, you can put your event on that tab. So the info tab, this is so important. I cannot stress this enough. If you do nothing else on Google My Business, please make sure your information is up to date. That's where people are going to find where your hours are. That's where people are going to find where your address is. And we're going to scroll down on the info page. You can put highlights, your woman-led, your wheelchair accessible entrance. You accept American Express, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa. If your business hosts people riding the Hatfield-McCoy trails, they're going to want to know if you accept American Express. And it seems, not that big of a deal. But as I mentioned, my dad's here, and a lot of times, we'll go somewhere and they'll say, "Oh, sorry, we don't accept Amex." And it was like, "Oh, I wish we would have known that. That would have been nice." So knowing that ahead of time is really nice. Your little description, this will pop up as soon as someone Googles you. Let's talk about reviews. People love to give their opinion, if nothing else. That's the one thing you can ask people to give you for free, and that's their opinion. And there's no better place for people to do that than your reviews. This is Google reviews. You have Facebook reviews. We can cover that probably next week. It's so important to respond to everyone's reviews, especially if you can't, thanks for your kind review, Colin. That makes a huge difference rather than just thank you for your kind review. Adding this little just snippet of being personal can go a long way. So photos, it is so important to upload photos to your Google account because that's, people's first impression is going to be based off of photos. Obviously these are aesthetically pleasing. Note, you can add videos, you can add an interior, and if you have a restaurant, please upload your menu to the menu tab. Let's talk about a quick note on SEO. Again, that's search engine optimization. It's helpful to have all of the information that you put on Google My Business on your website, especially with more elaboration. People may know we offer gifts just by looking at us, but do people know that we offer local artisans gifts? What do I need to put on my website in order for people to Google local artisans items and my business shows up? People use Google to search for an answer to their question. Your business needs to use Google in reverse in order to answer questions that people are asking. So you need to think ahead of time, what would someone Google in order to find my page? So for instance, if I'm going to visit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, I'm going to say Hatfield-McCoy Trail lodging in Southern West Virginia. Is your business going to pop up? Let's talk about Facebook posts. So a lot of the classes we posted before have talked about how to use Facebook. I'm going to talk about what to post on Facebook. So there's using events, like for instance, the Cornerstone's open house. We will cover how to get these nice photos as well. You want to have your event description short, sweet, to the point, when it's happening, the business is happening at, and where it's at. And this will pop up on your feed. This just looks aesthetically pleasing. This is something that I would automatically just tap the interested button. Next, WVVA News came out and covered the stakeholders group and that they've been recognized as a neighborhood champion for American Express's Small Business Saturday. So WVVA posted about that. And since Cornerstone was a participant in Small Business Saturday, we shared it. And we said, check out what Vicki and Savannah were up to yesterday. Here's me. And Vicky's sitting next to me, but you can't see. Another, interesting post. Check this out. I said, please help. We can't decide which one we like the most. They're only $14.99 each. But I'm asking people to look through the photos and comment on which one they like the most. Now, the whole reason to posting on Facebook is you're going to want people to comment and to like, because the more people that like, especially comment, and if you can get comments, great. If you only get likes, that's okay, it's mediocre. But on posts like this, the more comments you have, the higher Facebook is going to prioritize this post and is going to make it appear on more people's timelines. So quite often I'll just say, please help, we can't decide which one we like the most, or vote on this, or like I said, people love giving their opinion. So use that to your advantage. This is another set of posts. We had a new local artisan, so I wanted to introduce Linda Phillips of Princeton, West Virginia. She creates gorgeous flower arrangements, and I posted 2 pictures of her flowers, and we had a ton of folks comment, oh wow, that's so beautiful, how much, so on and so forth. And a lot of people ask me, they say, do you post your prices on Facebook or Instagram, or do you not? I go back and forth, because sometimes leaving the price out can be the difference in driving up comments, because people may like it so much you're asking what the price is. And if you don't feel comfortable replying right there to the post, you can shoot them a private message and just comment after them saying, hey, I sent you a private message. Commenting back also increases your overall comments, which makes Facebook feel like your post is important and is going to prioritize it in everyone else's feed. Another post example, Cornerstone pays for advertisements on WBVA. So as soon as we get that back, we post it on our own Facebook page. And we got 4 comments, 8 shares, and 472 views and 27 likes. That's content that it's already created, so why not? Another thing to post about is updates. And something as simple, we had a few people ask, hey, are you going to carry Apple Watch bands? We'll look into that. Confirmed, we will be carrying Apple Watch bands for sale. Both millimeter sizes will be available. 8 comments, 30 likes. It's a pretty big deal. So let's talk about Facebook groups. And like I said, I'm going to remind you all again, just because something I tell you may not work the way I show it to you, ask yourself, how could I maybe do something different to get the same effect? So the Cornerstone created a Facebook group just for Cornerstone's favorite customers. And we did? We posted all of our, I can't call it junk, it's not junk, but our heavily discounted stuff that just had to go. It just had to go. So you saw these picture frames are only $3 to $8. And this allows you to post in a place for your customers to see. Not only do they feel special, because I called it Cornerstone's favorite customers, but it allows you to spam that group with all these posts without spamming your normal news feed like these posts. So keep your normal Facebook to your latest and greatest. And if you have a group and you need to sell stuff or just post updates, find a way to, to make Cornerstone's favorite customers your favorite customers. Or Feliciana, you're on here, you could have a group just for folks who have visited your spot to share memories. There are a million different ways you can go about this. And it proves, 3 people liked this Kelly Ray Frames post. It was seen by 68 people. And someone came back eventually asking, because some folks will just come through on their free time and just scroll this group to see what we posted lately. They may find something that they like. So it gives them the convenience of shopping from their phone. But there's many other ways to get people involved. If you think this would be something good for you, just shoot me an email. Maybe we could talk about it. Let's talk about Instagram. You want to have a perfectly curated Instagram page, and you want it to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So I want you to notice the pertinent details in my Instagram bio. So home to 35 plus local artisans and their products. Cool. Proud Pure bracelets and cool and interesting jewelry distributor. Cool. There's our Facebook page. Great. There's our address. Great. Shop the feed. You can call us or you can email us, and any one of those buttons. People, if you put yourself in your customer's shoes, do you really want to have to DM somebody and wait for a response? Or not have that information right there. And in the age of technology, we need to have the information that our customers are looking for right there without them having to ask us for it. So we are going to talk about utilizing Instagram, your target audience, which the most engaged users are typically between 18 to 24 years old. They're 51% female. And you want to target the kind of people that use your product. You also want to curate your feed in a way that will keep it clean, have your stories and stuff curated, and you want to archive old posts. And someone asked me, they're like, what should I post? And I always suggest posting the latest and greatest in your actual Instagram feed like this. Little updates or something that may only last a short while, like a sale, post that in your Instagram stories and take advantage of using Instagram highlights. And I would like to highlight, I'll talk about using frequently asked questions and highlights next week. Is that an Instagram business account? I thought mine was, but mine looks different. Yes, this is an official Instagram business account. If you do not see yours, eventually go to edit profile, and there should be a tab. I'll follow up with you if you think your Instagram is not a business account. We'll talk about that. Okay, so using Instagram, is it engaging? Have you used your hashtags? Is your geolocation on? So let's talk about this for a second. An aesthetically pleasing photo. There's not a lot of background. It's short, sweet, to the point. Obviously, we have earrings and a necklace. And let's talk about the caption. There's nothing spooky about these statement pieces, handmade by Bronwyn and Myra of Friends by the Way. See a piece you like? Comment below and we'll send you price information. That is a call to action. And we do highlight our model, Lexi Friendship Princeton High School. And I highly encourage, if you have the ability to use some kind of model program or spokesperson program, do it. Because this will bring in, this is her mom commenting. I love the sunflowers. It doesn't matter that it's her mom. It doesn't matter that she's related. That is a comment, and comments build up to being prioritized content. Use your hashtags. I keep in notes in my iPhone note app. And I use the dots, and the reason being is if you're just scrolling through Instagram, there's nothing more annoying than a whole if you're scrolling up and all these people's comments or whatever pop up. Put your put these dots in front of your hashtags and put all your hashtags in a separate comment from your caption. That way people will see that you commented again, but it'll have those little brackets and it'll say more. Next. So let's talk about Instagram and who your business should be following. So this is a perfect example. Hearts and Strings Boutique just opened up in Bluefield West. They've already been an established business in Princeton, but they just moved to Bluefield West. And I want you all to notice, it says followed by Blue Mountain Apothecary, Aaron's Princeton, and 2 others. If this is competition, click on who all is following your competition. See the accounts that pop up, and if you are not following them, follow them, because this could be people that you follow that also follow them, but they don't follow you back, or there's a million different ways that you can go about that. And it also has these suggested for you, and these are possibly other people who could be potential customers. So keep tabs on your competition and follow other people. Facebook's doing this thing, let's talk about Instagram stories. This is a perfect place to host your frequently asked questions. If you all remember, your Instagram your stories are under here. So when you go to your Instagram profile, depends on how many stories you have, they'll populate here. It's a perfect way to also host, your Meet the Staff. You can screenshot reviews people have left you on Google or Facebook and put them on there. You can have an inspiration highlight. And if you, let's say, perfect example, if your business services folks for the Hatfield McCoy trails, post things to do around your, your restaurant, your lodge, so on and so forth, as a way to entice people. Okay, they've already listed things for me to do while I'm staying there. You can highlight, maybe other businesses or restaurants in the area. You want to keep the feed fresh, and this rule applies with Facebook and Instagram. Photos and videos with a short information life need to be archived once they've reached their organic growth, especially if they are not aesthetically pleasing to your brand. So, perfect example would be old sales or seasonal items, and this is how you archive. So, this chair, it was great. We had them for a while. They're all sold out. Archive it. It's really easy to archive. If you accidentally archive something, do not fret. You can go to your profile, those 3 little dots, hit the archive button, all your posts will show up, and you just have to hit those 3 dots again and unarchive, and that brings it back to your feed. We're gonna talk about TikTok. Can your business benefit from TikTok? TikTok is very new, it's free. TikTok primarily operates on organic views, which means you do not pay to have your TikToks boosted. However, just recently, TikTok has rolled out a way to do branded content and allow you to boost videos. But I'm all about being organic. What's really neat is you can create your videos in the app. Everyone has a curated For You page. So the more you use TikTok and the more videos you like or comment on, TikTok has an algorithm in order to make more of those videos appear. For example, don't judge the audio as the TikTok thing, but this is Bridge Day in West Virginia. That's a tourism draw. I should have muted the audio. For my Hatfield McCoy trail folks, side-by-sides. People bragging about the places that they've taken their side-by-sides. And it says, we do things a little different in West Virginia. Hashtag West Virginia, hashtag For You page, hashtag WV, hashtag SXS, which is side-by-side. So these are unique ways to promote your business, and they're only 15 to 60-second videos. And people can share these videos on Instagram and Snapchat, so on and so forth. All right, now we're gonna get into the apps. And I have another poll. So if you've not been paying attention, please come back to the Zoom call and fill out this poll for me. I'm gonna give you guys about 30 more seconds to fill out this poll. And if anytime you have questions about anything, just drop them in the chat. If I see it right away, I'll address it then. If not, I have a section at the very end where I will be addressing questions. Okay, I'm gonna give you, there's about 5 of you who haven't responded to this poll. So I see you. Please respond to the poll. And I'm gonna shut this down in about 5 seconds. All right, let's take a look. Wow, a lot of you guys have heard of Canva. That makes me very happy. And a few of you have heard of Visco. I had Visco back in like 2012. I always thought it was pronounced VSCO, but the younger folks said it's pronounced Visco, so we'll go with that. So good deal. This is helpful. All right. This is Visco, and for those of you that don't know, Visco is a photo editing software, but it's an app. And what I really like about VSCO is it has features and settings that are automatically built in, but I pay for the subscription, and I believe it's like $20 for like a whole year, and you have access to like 100 different filters and tools to edit photos. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. This is the before, this is the after. Before, after. So I mean, look at this, how yellow this background is in the before, after. Same with this picture of this product. I mean, the before wasn't as aesthetically pleasing, but the after, and not only do you select filters, but you can see this little toolbar down here. You're able to adjust the brightness, the contrast, highlights and shadows, saturation, sharpness, all types of stuff. I mean, there's like a bajillion settings in there to really make your photos pop. Here's another set, just kind of, you know, mundane photos. So that's before, after. And I did this, you know, all in about 30 seconds. And for these two photos, I just used the filter. I didn't adjust any of the other settings. So I highly recommend downloading this app. And here is a quick walkthrough of VSCO. No professional camera needed. You can play around with your phone settings. If you have an iPhone, a lot of people love shooting in portrait mode. I actually don't like shooting in portrait mode, so you have to find out what works for you. If you use a professional grade camera that shoots raw photos, you can edit raw photos in VSCO. And you guys probably saw this image when it was posted on the Cornerstone's Google My Business. So this is a 30-second way just to post a new product on our Google My Business. Easy enough. I will show you all. It's gonna be really hard. If you have an iPhone, grab your iPhone and go to your camera. So it looks like this. What I want you to do is to tap on the screen. You should see, it's very hard to see on my screen, but you should see a little yellow box appear with a sun. Once you tap, put your finger on that sun and drag up and down. And that's how you change the aperture when you're shooting on your iPhone. This can be extremely important when capturing videos and can be the difference of your video taking 15 seconds to edit versus taking a couple minutes to edit to get it right. If you're shooting in harsh sunlight or shooting in sunlight at all, I highly recommend playing around with the aperture. And I'm pretty sure that's available on iPhones 5 with the iPhone 5 or greater. This is a VSCO alternative. It's called the Adobe Lightroom Photo Editor, or just Lightroom. This is available in your app store. It is free. However, you've probably seen tons of ads. People make their own, what do they call them? Like filter preset packs. You can buy people's packs. You can go on Etsy and buy people's packs. You know, your friends may have some packs. If you follow along on Instagram, not that you know what it is, you may see more and more people are doing this. Very similar to VSCO. Honestly, what do they say? 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Word Swag. This app I cannot brag on enough. I think I paid $6 for the app like 5 years ago. Yeah, probably more than that. And this allows you to make these images so fast on your phone. It's quick and easy. This is for your simple designs. If you like run a restaurant, some of you are familiar with The Last Fountain. I posted their lunch specials every day using the Word Swag app. And I'll run you through how to use it. I'm not sure what the subscription cost is. They probably make you pay monthly or yearly now, but if it's still available for just like $6 on the App Store, I highly recommend it. And notice down there on the bottom, let me backtrack for just a hot second. You have your options. Is it an Instagram portrait? Is it a Facebook post? Is it a Twitter cover? So you go in and tap which one that you need it for, and it will size that photo for you. So this is where you input your text. And if you just want something, just to post on your feed, you can click any of these buttons and it will auto-generate like a quote for you. And you can just make something look cute, just to have content to post. So I love that. I lowered the brightness on the image to make the white text pop. And I changed, have a multitude of different color options. Gold foil, silver foil, all types of stuff. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And WordSwag keeps on updating and adding new fonts. I will say, if you are going to use WordSwag, if you're going to use any app to do stuff, the number one trick, Felicity, yes, $3.99 on Android, highly recommend. If you're going to use an app like this, and like Canva and other things, don't just select a normal stock photo like I did. Try to use your own photos, because there's nothing worse. And maybe it's just the designer in me thinking, if I go to Facebook and I go to someone's page, I'm like, oh, they designed that in WordSwag. I can literally duplicate that right now. Being authentic and having your own brand makes it important, and it's another reason why you should play around with this and get a little more acclimated with it, because you want to be original. You don't want someone to look at your post and be like, I can make that. It's very user-friendly, as you could see, and Felicity confirmed that it's only $3.99 on Android, so that's a very good deal. Next up, we have StorySwag, and this is by the creators of WordSwag. So if you have iPhone or Android, if you wouldn't mind telling, dropping in the chat box how much it cost to view WordSwag and then StorySwag, I would appreciate that. Again, with StorySwag, this is for Instagram stories. So no graphic design experience needed. There's only a few free options, and I think they're still rolling out more. However, it is extremely user-friendly. I mean, you pick whether you're gonna do a square or an actual story. I have a ton of photos on my phone. You pick all the images that you want to include. And keep in mind, you have your title, which is gonna be like the longest one, and you can hold and drag to change the order, but it's the same theory as WordSwag. You just double tap to change that text, and you post whatever you want. You're running Half the McCoy stuff. Here are our rentals available for the weekend. And I recommend doing that in a story, because your rentals are going to change. And that story only lasts for 24 hours. StorySwag is $4.99 on iPhone. Good deal. And you can edit each caption on each photo. I'm going to skip ahead to the finished product. And this is what it looks like. And again, if you get the free version, it's going to have that logo. You can't get rid of that unless you pay for it. But if you're not using it a whole lot, it's probably worth it just to have the free version. Next is Canva, and a lot of you guys said that you were familiar with Canva, which made me very happy. These are just a few examples that I use Canva for. This is a social media post. I designed our logo in Canva. Yes, I have access to the entire Adobe Illustrator suite, but there's nothing like just being able to go on Canva and do it, because it's easy. I do a lot of the department's social media posts from Canva as well. And what's really nice about Canva is if you design something like business cards or a flyer or a booklet, you can print one, or you can print like 2,000. So Canva has printing options. They do have a happiness guarantee. I've printed stuff through Canva, graduation announcements, menus. Some of you know the last fountain, I designed the menu in Canva, and I got it printed in Canva, ordered a whole bunch of them, laminated them, and we were good to go. We promoted our local artisans, and I made a really quick post for Big Blue Art. A lot of you are familiar with From Clouds to Coal, which is a book that our local author Wayne Peltz made. I did a little shout out post for him on Canva as well. Canva is so great for those complex design things that you need to do, that word swag is just a little too basic for. And I will note again, make it original, make it yours. Spend the extra time, change the background, change the fonts, change, colors, change all that stuff. So it looks like something you designed yourself. And these suggestions on how not to spend way too much time on things in Canva. I know I just recommended spending time on Canva. You're gonna have a balance. When I first started using Canva, I was like, oh gosh, I could get lost on here for hours and hours and hours. But I found the more that I've used Canva, the more streamlined my process has become, and I know what I'm looking for. Again, that could just be the graphic designer part of my brain, and it's probably be different for folks who are not graphic designers. As far as spending your time, you're just gonna have to dedicate time to it, especially until you get the hang of it and all the tools. There is, let's see, did you set up any specific fonts, colors, branding? You can. That is in the paid version of Canva. I'm cheap. I use the free version, and it works pretty well. And the reason why, so Canva has a new tool now to where when you insert an image, Canva will pick up the colors in that image and tell you what the palette is, so you can apply that to other things that you're designing. So with everything I do, especially if it's related to the department, I'll design something, get it the way I like it, and before editing colors, I'll drop my logo in. It pull up the color options, it pulls up the swatch from my logo, and then I adjust everything to the proper color. So I'll put it in blue because it's supposed to be blue, but I'll go back through and add our legitimate hexadecimal blue. This is a quick walkthrough for Canva. Like I said, no graphic design experience needed. You really want to try to make this unique. Extremely user-friendly. The membership is not necessary, but it definitely has its perks. And when you go to sign up for Canva, it's going to try to make you do a membership right away. You're going to want to bypass that as much as you can to do the free version. You know how it is. It's like, enter your credit card now. And then like the little tiny itty bitty font at the bottom says, or access the free version. So just be on the lookout for that. Canva has changed a little bit since I've made this video. They're constantly adding new templates and like new font things that you can do. This is a very basic poster. Would I use this template? No, because I've seen it before. So like, but if I had to use this template, I'm going to get rid of the orange and the blue. I'm going to make it so people don't recognize it right away. But when everything's grouped together, when you type, it automatically formats that for you. If you have an issue, you can just ungroup. Oh, it disappeared for a second. No, because I was done. Let's see. It has your color options, your font options, and it has a ton of font options for the free version. I'm very impressed. And it's basic, editing. And you can go up to download, or you can hit that print flyer button. And Canva works the same way as WordSwag, and the fact that you're able to pre-select what you're trying to do. So if you're wanting to do an Instagram story, you can type, when you hit that home button, you can type Instagram story and it'll automatically optimize the dimensions for what you're trying to do. That way when you go to post it somewhere, it doesn't get cut off and kind of weird. Next is dafont.com. Oh snap. I post this for you. This is a really nice place to get fonts. This is what the website looks like. I know I wanted a handwritten font, so I click on handwritten. This is the most important part. Pay attention. If you don't pay attention for nothing else, pay attention right here, because this could be the difference from being sued for copyright violation and not. You need to go to and click the, advanced search or whatever, 100% free. If you do not do this, you can be in big trouble. They will find you and they will issue a cease and desist for using their font. And buy this 100% free. It's going to be free for commercial use. And you're able to preview. So you type in your business name and you can preview what those fonts look like. If you choose to buy a font, which I highly recommend, or you can get someone to design a font for you just for your business as part of your branding, go for it. If you have the resources to do that, and if you are looking for a custom font, you can check out Etsy, or if you decide just to contact a graphic designer, you can do that as well. This was the downloading how to install process, extremely easy. When you download a font, like I downloaded Lemon Tuesday, you just open that file that's downloaded, you go to that OTF extension, double click, install. It works the same way on a Windows computer. I know this is a Mac right now. Installed right away, and then you're able to go to Microsoft Word, or if you use, Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, however, it'll be available when you go to type in Lemon Tuesday. So just keep, pay attention to what the fonts are. The last tip and trick I have for you all is Pixabay. I have two choice words, I guess you could say, about using stock photos. Number one, don't. If you can get away with not using stock photos, don't use stock photos. I would much rather you take a picture, edit it in VSCO or Lightroom Mobile to use as a background for your stuff on Canva or WordSwag or whatever than using Pixabay. However, if you are in dire need of a stock photo, like literally you just need someone eating a hamburger, by all means, just go get a stock photo, crop it, maybe not make the person eating the hamburger's face as visible. So like I said, like I said earlier, being authentic and not using the same stock photo. I will note at the bottom of Pixabay, my Google keeps getting in the way. These are free for commercial use photos. Pixabay is a vibrant community of creatives sharing copyright-free images and videos. All contents are released under the Pixabay license, which makes them safe to use without asking for permission or giving credit to the artist, even for commercial purposes. If you are Googling images to use on your marketing material, don't. Please don't. Go to Pixabay because it's not fun to be issued a cease and desist, and it can get ugly fast. So a few notes before we wrap it up. It is all about the branding. What is your vision? Your thing and your vision may not always be marketable or appealing. So you really need to do some self-reflection, especially if this, everyone's business is their baby, but posting pictures of your dog for every single picture isn't going to get people to visit your restaurant. And you won't always sell. There's you in the way that you see things, and there's the way that everyone else sees things. You need to find your happy medium. I highly recommend that every business has the face of their business, whether it's the owner or a designated staff member, constantly posting pictures of themselves or videos on their Facebook page. But that goes back to saying you won't always sell. So find that happy median, toggle back and forth. I don't know about you all, but there's nothing I love more than going into a business and knowing who the owners are and knowing the story behind why they started that business. Next is being unique. Use different fonts. Spend the money to have your logo professionally designed. Seek advice from others in your ideal industry. Don't copy anybody. Don't use stock photos when you can take the real photos. Break away from the constant posting about your business and share something that's going on in the community. That goes back to, I always mention, I always have my finger on what's going on. I have a good idea of what the pulse is. And lastly, never stop learning. I may have another social media class and you'll say, I am actually gonna have another social media class. You're gonna say, oh, well, I took this first one. I don't need to take the second one. No, there is constantly new updates to Facebook. I mean, Facebook, some of you may not know, Facebook is rolling out a completely new update that's going to completely change the interface of Facebook. And some people are currently beta testing it. So we are all about to be in the same boat again when one morning we wake up and our Facebook's updated and we're not sure where our old buttons are anymore. So keep on learning. Oh, part of this I didn't show. Try reloading. Okay. This is the time for questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box, but don't leave yet. This is not the end of our presentation. I have to tell you about upcoming classes and how to stay in touch. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. There is going to be a part 2. I've decided there's just so much information on here I can't possibly share it all. It's going to be on September 23rd at 4 p.m. It's going to be a follow-up session, and I'm dropping the link to sign up for that in the chat. Intuit also has a survey that I please ask that you fill out. This allows us to keep offering great content. It tells the folks at Intuit that we are doing our job. Stay in touch with me. If you have any questions, feel free to send them. Facebook groups can they be public or only private with invites? You decide that when you open up the Facebook. So I may have said that really softly. Facebook groups, can they be public or can they only be private with invites? That is a setting that you decide when you set up the Facebook page. So if you want anyone to find your stuff, like for instance, a community forum where people post everything that's going on in the community, you'd want that to be public. Even if people aren't in the group, they can still see the posts. If you are doing your own, like I did Cornerstones for your customers, you could see that there was a group, but you couldn't see the content of the group unless you joined. And Facebook has just recently changed the settings. If you're in a group, people can't go to your profile and tell which groups you're in. You can only tell who of your friends are in groups if you're in the same group together. I read somewhere that your business username should be the same across social media platforms. Mine are not. Can I change them? And if so, should I? Yes. So that actually happened at the Cornerstone. We changed the name from Cornerstone Gifts to just the Cornerstone. And we had to change all of our social profiles. I highly recommend doing that, keeping it consistent and notifying everybody when you go to change it, and notifying people leading up to it. When you change a name on Facebook, well, when I say this, changing a name on Facebook is different than changing the @ symbol username. I would have them both consistent and I would have them short, sweet, and to the point. But yes, keeping those actual like tag usernames consistent will be extremely helpful. Ours aren't. I'll show you. Let me go back. It's like it says down here, Bluefield underscore, Bluefield WV underscore CED, so on and so forth. I didn't make that. If I could change it, I would. I might change it. We're still figuring out some other stuff that could change the scope of what we're doing with Intuit, so that may happen. All right, if you have questions, keep on dropping them. I did launch a little poll there. This session is being recorded and will be sent with you within 24 hours. It's more of a personal question, but with keeping Insta clean and fresh with hair profiles, how would you make that look cleaner? So I would stay consistent with what you're posting. Don't forget to post yourself, and maybe like, I know sometimes hairstylists will do each other's hair, and keeping that consistent, and sharing what you're doing. So I think about it this way: put yourself in the shoes of your customer, or someone. Let's back up the best. Put yourself in the position of somebody who's been thinking about getting their hair done with you because they've seen a couple of your pictures, or maybe their friends see you. They're going to go to your profile, and those first 3 images on your Instagram are going to be the most important because those are typically what show before anyone has the chance to scroll or if they have the chance to back out of your profile. Those top 3 pictures need to be like the ultimate impression of what you're doing. So I would have, as a hairstylist, 3 of like my best, cut or color jobs done. Because if I don't know you, but I know you do hair and I've been kind of looking, that could be the difference of me getting my hair done with you because I see the inspiration and I like what you're doing and not. And I joke with my hairstylist a lot and I tell her, I stalked her Facebook and her Instagram for a couple weeks before even making an appointment with her. All right. Again, I'm dropping the links to the Intuit survey and link to next week's session in the chat box if you're interested. I would love to see you all again. That is all I have for you all. I'm going to turn recording off